But first, tonight, only on KPIX5, the tenants from hell are back.
They move in, but then they won't pay and they won't leave. We were there last year when they were evicted from an apartment in San Bruno, but they didn't move far. Mark Kelly found them again, wreaking havoc.
Is there a good reason why the rent hasn't been paid?
Can you stop it?
Meet the family with a reputation.
Get your cameraman out of my face, please. He's not welcomed in.
We have permission to be here.
You don't have my permission. Let's get the
As the tenants from hell. Amber and Tony Menjivar live upstairs from them. Tony's sister is the landlord. He says she let the family move into the basement unit out of pity because the mother was in jail.
She wanted to give her a hand. She wanted to, like women in crisis, she wanted to help her.
But within weeks, Deborah De Rivero was back home, and pity turned into frustration.
Within maybe 2 weeks of moving in, she changed the locks.
The Menjivars had to call the police to get their belongings out of the shared garage. The pile is now sitting in their living room, and the tenant's broken down car is blocking the driveway. When the new tenants stopped paying the rent, the Menjivars realized they may have been conned.
I think she comes in, she knows that she has 3 or 4 months legally, and that's her game.
Renter Deborah De Rivero was...
That's when Amber went online and found 2 KPIX5 reports on Deborah De Rivero doing the same thing to another hapless homeowner.
And then I looked at the stories and I thought to myself, here's part 3.
Turns out there are more than 3 parts to this story. We found 8 evictions against the De Rivero family in just the past 6 years.
Unfortunately, as we found out, there are some people like Miss De Rivero who move from property to property.
Aaron Farmer represented not 1 but 2 landlords that tangled with Deborah, one after the other.
The sheriff comes to remove her from the first property on one day, and literally the next day, she's moving into the next property.
He showed us documents from his last case, a bad check written to a closed account, a rental application with a fake name, even a doctored paycheck stub from a job as a legal assistant.
And I called the law firm and they said, oh, she hasn't worked here for years. To know that she's done this multiple other times, it's just horrible.
We wanted to ask Deborah about that.
Deborah, can you come out and tell us your story?
I'm not Deborah. Okay, you have the wrong person.
What's your name?
I'm not interviewing with anybody.
She told us we had it wrong. She's not on the lease.
Well, that doesn't matter whether you're on the lease or not. You still have to pay the rent.
I need you guys to leave. The police is coming.
Sure enough, the tenants had called the cops on us.
We're here with Channel 5.
She should be prosecuted for this. You know, she's hurting a lot of people.
Absolutely, you'd call them squatters.
Professional squatters. They're just serial squatters.
So the tenants have just been served a 3-day notice, but the eviction process usually takes several months. And without any rent coming in and a mortgage to still pay, the Menjivars say they are at this point in danger of losing their own home.
Amazing.
And with all the evictions on their record, how are they still able to do this?
That's what's so amazing. So what they're doing is they're targeting these small landlords, and they're not clearly doing these background checks. They're not checking their references very closely. They're the landlords that they're targeting. Now, keep in mind, if you are a landlord, you could have someone do this for you, and we put all that information online at kpix.com.
All right, Mark. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.